Oh, hey, hi. Ooh. This is a bit of a follow-up to my previous video about Equinox for the helminth system. I showed off a build using Hildren's Pillage. And there were some people in the comments who were a bit miffed that I didn't actually show off my mod setup, like the actual build. And also kind of want to see it in practice to see what this build can do. So that it's not just like a sort of a simulacrum build. Well, I'm gonna talk a bit about like my choices for certain mod slots and stuff, so you understand how you play Equinox, and then we'll jump into the meat and potatoes. So this is my main. So oh my god, shut up, Ordis. Thank you. This is my main. I've put 2 Umbral Formas into this build. I don't expect other people to do that, and there are many ways you can build this where you don't need to invest quite that hard in resources into this build to make it work. And like primed sure-footed, that's just for convenience. You don't need to put that in either if you don't have that. You'll do, in most cases, you'll do like just fine with just chucking in like a cunning drift, getting some more range. Because range is something that Equinox always wants more of. You can probably chuck the Umbral Fiber, get your survivability from like Adaptation or Rolling Guard instead. That works just fine. In fact, like this is a build that I usually don't use for Steel Path. I just sort of like want to breeze through the game. And for normal content, the 60% damage reduction you get from this amount of armor, together with primed sure-footed, it's just fine. It's all you need. But if you want to push for higher content, like it might be better to just not use Umbral Fiber at all. Just go with Adaptation Rolling Guard. Something like that. Then when it comes to the actual sort of like buffs to duration, efficiency, range, and strength, you can do this build with Blind Rage instead, if you want to. You'll get more duration that way, you'll get more strength that way, which works very well for Pillage, because Pillage, the range of Pillage actually scales with duration, and not with range. When it comes to Pillage, the range stat only sort of affects the initial radius, but after that it pulses out, and the more duration you have, the longer it's going to be able to pulse out. So here it's going to pulse out for like 2 seconds. A couple of meters per second. But if you go with lower duration, it's only going to pulse out for 1.3 seconds before it returns to you. So it's a double-edged sword. If you go with low duration, you get your shields back faster. You get the effect of Pillage faster without having to sort of double-click the ability. But with longer range, you can hit more enemies. So you can sort of balance that. Also, the more strength you have, the bigger damage debuff you can give enemies with Rage. With just 160% strength, you get 80% damage vulnerability. To get it up to 200%, you get 100% damage vulnerability, just double damage. So you can fiddle with that sort of depending on just, you know, what sort of content you want to try to push through. If you want to go with the build that has more strength and less efficiency, you need to have like a rank 5 Arcane Energize, or you won't be able to make this build work. The reason for that is because Maim is something you always want to have active, because you want to build your Maim counter and do your big nukes, and the energy drain on Maim scales with both duration and efficiency. So it's not like what you'd think. It's a bit surprising that it's for that reason, like efficiency is more important. So if you have like 100% duration and 135% efficiency, this will have like a drain of like 2.39 energy per second, which is quite a lot. It's going to drain your energy pretty fast, and you're going to be dependent on picking up energy orbs and using Arcane Energize to keep yourself topped off. Especially since with this efficiency, it's going to cost you like 30 energy every time you want to pop a Pillage as well. If instead you go with even lower duration, but higher efficiency, that actually helps. So with that, the Maim is only going to have an energy drain of 0.88 energy per second, which is nothing, is negligible. You won't even like sort of notice it. And your Pillage is only going to cost 12 energy, so you can spam Pillage. So this is way more sort of like easy on your energy management. You won't have to bother that much with it. So In a lot of regards, this is probably the better build to use. And like I said, you don't have to use Prime Sure-Footed. You can get some more range in there as well. Get that above 200%, which scales very well with Maim. I'd like to have a bit of health with the Umbral Vitality. That's nice. But yeah, like I said, Umbral Fiber is probably the weak link in this build. Prime Sure-Footed also. Other than that, this is kind of what you want it to look like. So, let's show this off in practice then and see what we can do. And for this demonstration, I think I'm going to do Survival, Steel Path, and I'm going to use Corpus for this. And I like doing this one because it's in the new Corpus ship tile set. And in the Corpus ship tile set, the enemy spawn rate is nonsense. It's ridiculous. The amount of enemies that are going to be just coming at you from every direction. So we're gonna just start by topping myself off with energy, so I have like a full. It's only 247. That's the only all the energy I have with this build, but it's gonna be fine with this much efficiency. Activate the Maim. So the thing here is that like as soon as you start like spamming your pillage, it's not gonna take you long at all to build up enough Maim to kill. So as you can see, it's like I do one pillage. I shoot off a couple of rockets, and I can kill everything, which is nice. But even so, I have slightly less range on this thing. Ah, damn it! I hadn't done any damage at all. I have slightly less range on this pillage than I did when I had a higher duration build. So, I gotta get pretty close to the enemies. Now, obviously, if I want to get my armor back faster, I can double-click the ability button. Like so. And then I don't have to wait for, for the duration to run out before I get my buff. Goddamn, I keep on doing that mistake. Where I have to remember I have to kill something first. Otherwise I won't have any Maim. Okay, so I died, but that's because I was playing sloppy. There we go. First, kill something, then detonate your nuke. Okay? If you don't detonate your nuke, or like if you don't kill something, you won't get rewarded with that nice nuke. Which we want. Now as... just gotta let my Accelera reload. Thank you. This is enough. I got my nuke now. And as you can see with this build, I am like spamming pillage. Which is nice, I can do that. With this high efficiency, every pillage just costs like 12 energy. So, I can pretty much restore my shields at will. And just, you know, I don't have to kill all that many enemies to build a powerful enough nuke to where it sort of becomes cumbersome for me.
Get ready
Yep.
for a capsule.
Yeah, working as intended. Constantly refilling my shields by spamming pillage. And, you know, every 10 seconds or so, just, blast off a nuke. See, but you gotta earn it with Equinox, that's the thing, you gotta earn it. You have to kill things to build up your nuke. Like that. I hadn't earned it. And when I hadn't earned it, I didn't get my nuke. So you gotta always keep that in mind, people. Spam your pillage for survivability. Build up your nuke. Boom your nuke. All day long. All day long. So is this viable? Yeah, I'd say so. Like, obviously, like always with Equinox, it is not sort of... You are not a rhino. you cannot stand still and tank hits. If you stay still, or even if you miss with your pillage like this, you will die. You will die fast with Equinox if you are not constantly in the air. Constantly parkouring left and right.
30-second
So it's fun. It rewards you for an active playstyle. And I also recommend... oops. I am running low on life support. I gotta go and replenish my life support. Okay. I also recommend practicing when you play Equinox to be jumping. Jump a lot.
Another life support
Specifically,
capsule is now available.
because when you use Equinox's abilities, they sort of paralyze you. So if you're standing on the ground and like activate your maim, stuff like that, you're forced to stay still while you're doing it. And Pillage is the same. You're forced to stay still while you're pillaging as well. But what you can do is you can jump around, jump up, and get down. And in so doing, you will...
Extraction is ready.
it's a way of like staying mobile while you are spamming your abilities. So practice doing that. Practice always being mid-air while you are deploying your pillage, while you are detonating your maim, while you're activating a new maim. Because mobile targets are a bit harder for your opponents to hit. So, since the name of the game here is... Oh no, oh no, oh no, see there? See there? I wasn't in the air when I was doing the maim, which meant I had to stay still while activating the skill. And when I did that, they almost killed me.
Extraction is your best
No.
option.
You want to jump around, jump
delivered
up,
another
and
life
get down.
support capsule.
That's the mantra. That's how you Equinox.
Wise founder.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with a Steel Path Treasurer. It's just not worth the nightmare. Anywho, 7% life support. That means it's time for me to lickety-split. Woo! Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. I didn't pay attention to my life support. I gotta get out. Whew. Oh, I'm on a clock. Oh no. Oh no. We gotta hurry. Move. I am jumping up and down and getting around. Oof. Anyway, could have pushed that longer, obviously, but I wasn't paying attention to my life support. That happens when you're recording stuff, people. It's the name of the game. When you try to talk and do commentary while you're rushing through stuff like this, can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you're doing Steel Path and hectic survival missions, stuff like that. Probably would have done better if I was just playing and not talking. Anywho. But as you can see, damage numbers, very fine. Survivability is quite improved by the addition of Pillage. Especially when your efficiency is at a high enough level where the ability becomes spammable. That's great. That's what you want. So I think this is probably the version of the build I'm going to recommend for people. I'm going to say you can cut the duration short. That's fine. You really want to max out your efficiency. It seems important for this build because you want to be able to spam Pillage. If you can't spam Pillage, you probably can't survive in Steel Path with this. But if you can spam Pillage, you're probably fine. Which is nice. And spamming Pillage also means you stack the armor stripping. So you're gonna want to hammer that pretty often when you're fighting against, for example, Grenier. And you're going to have an easier time fighting Grineer as well, because Corpus, with the way they're designed right now, is that Corpus are kind of glass cannons. They can't really take a whole much of a beating, but damn do they hit hard. They will kill you fast. Grineer, you're probably not going to be as panicked jumping around in every direction trying to survive, which is nice. But yeah. Just wanted to do a quick little demonstration of what this build can do in practice. Just to sort of demonstrate, like, yeah. Dayform Equinox with Pillage. Absolutely viable for Steel Path. Absolutely. It can pull off some stuff. It's kind of cool.